festival. And I do like a kind of spin turn, and I drop. And then like this is my favorite part because I drop and slide, boom. I treat it so special. So I kind of like have a little like they kind of feel like ooh, so special. Exactly, yo.
Alright guys, I'm Vidal Gachuco again. This is Hotspot TV. I'm here with Tarikh Campbell. And we're bringing you the hottest people behind the hottest events. To see what's going on around you, visit us at hotspot.co. We're about to get started, alright? Alright guys, welcome back to Hotspot TV. As I said, I'm Vidal Gachuco, and I'm here with Tarikh Campbell. He's going to be a dancer in Function 6 at Northeastern University on Friday, November 7th from 8 to 11 p.m. To find out more information about the event, check out the link below in the video. But basically, this is big dance showcase, and Tarikh, my correct is are you the leader of your crew, or kind of break it down and tell us what is Function 6, how you got involved in it, and what people can expect out of it.
Yeah, so I'm the leader of my crew. I'm the executive director of the concept artists.
Okay.
And this Friday, like you said, we're performing at Function 6.
Okay.
And the event is a showcase that we've been doing for a few years now, hosted by Northeastern's Kinematics dance crew. They're one of their collegiate hip-hop crews there.
Yeah.
And as the concept artists ourselves, we also do hip-hop performances. So they invite us. You know, we're like a decently big name in the Boston community.
Oh,
so they respect us, and they invite us year after year.
Yeah.
We're always like happy to do it, and it's just a fun time, man. It's just all kinds of crews who go, other big names like Static Noise Dance Company, Project Nails, other collegiate groups, Funk Phenomenon, just like mad groups all across the city go, and it's pretty good. They also got big headliners too, and I believe it's public now. They always keep it a secret until last week, but they got big names like some people from Wildebeest crew.
Okay, yeah, his videos are
Dave
dope.
Willis is a big name, Keone and Mari, Sora Yang, Choreo Cookies I think are going to be there this year. They're like a huge team internationally known from San Diego. Yeah. But it's always a good time, and it should be a good one again this time too.
Yeah. That's dope. So first of all, is it primarily hip-hop, or is hip-hop just the main kind of dancing that is going to go on there?
It's the main kind of dancing. I believe in years past they have had like non-hip-hop groups as well, because they're not closed-minded or closing it off to other styles, you know. It's not like that serious or big a deal to not be a hip-hop crew. And there are certainly good non-hip-hop groups that perform there too. There was a group a few years back called New Age, and run by some friends of mine who I've danced with on hip-hop groups. But they were a contemporary mostly group, and they had some amazing performances. I believe they did Function in years past. I may be wrong about that, but they were performed around the same time. And so Function's an open showcase, but most of the groups there will do hip-hop pieces.
Okay, that's dope. So whenever I think of hip-hop, for instance, I think of movies like Step Up and Step Up 2 and stuff like that. And this idea and notion of a crew is I mean, it's a team like any other sport. So why don't you tell us, like, how did you get into it? Because you went to MIT, and I was having this conversation a couple of nights ago that sometimes at these institutions that are known for the students being very brainy, you think that they don't really get into it. And were you dancing before MIT, or did you start there? Or how did you get in? How did you build this reputation in Boston?
I wasn't really like, you know, formally like dancing in an organized fashion with groups of people or like, you know, putting together routines before MIT. But I'm Caribbean, so like I've always had dance in me. Like any kind of family party, everybody was dancing, no matter if you were a baby or you were like 80 years old. Everyone danced, so I'm not afraid of dancing in public or music and all that stuff. And it was at MIT in my sophomore year, actually my freshman, I guess, but where I started dancing. And I had friends who were part of a dance group at MIT, so it was like one of the extracurricular groups. And they always saw me at like parties and stuff dancing. So they were like, yo, you clearly like to dance. Like, do you want to like come do this with us? And I didn't even know that was like a thing to like get together with people and really do that. I thought it was just in movies like Step Up or You Got Served or music videos. I didn't know the common man could like go out and do the same thing. So, you know, I joined it. MIT's like, you know, dance troupe is what they call it. And from there, you know, just like it just kind of springboard into a whole bunch of stuff for me. I started like taking lots of classes and workshops, finding really good people on YouTube to follow, you know, stepping into choreography myself and not just being the one who's dancing, to eventually putting together crews of my own both at MIT and since MIT as well, and just getting really involved with the dance community here, and even outside of Boston as well, in different parts of the country and world also. So I'm definitely a dance seeker and a dance lover right now. But it all did kind of start, at least the organized fashion, at MIT.
That's cool. Yeah. So I mean, there's a ton of things there that I want to dive into. But
oh, for sure.
I mean, for everyone that doesn't know, I mean, you'll see it in the intro, but this guy can really, really step. And I think there's a certain amount of athleticism and just kind of body awareness that is necessary for you to be a really, really good dancer. And you see it sometimes in these big dancers, whether it is, like you mentioned earlier, the Wildebees or even Chris Brown at that level. So do you have some dancers, whether they're performers or artists or just pure dancers, that you look up to?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Some dancers that I look up to, are well known in like the big world at large to like mainstream audiences, like Keone Madrid and Mario Martin are two dancers that are very well known because you see them on shows like So You Think You Can Dance. They've been on Ellen, like they're one of those like couples where they make a video and becomes viral on Facebook immediately. But I've been following them since like 2007, and I was like way before like non-dancers knew about them. But they're pretty big. And then I think my biggest idol is Lal Beniga. Yeah, he's this dude from Washington D.C. And I mean, people might not know him by name, but he's been like an usher backup dancer for like the longest. He's been in tons of different like gigs and shows. He backup danced Justin Timberlake most recently on the 2020 tour and all that stuff. So like people have seen him. There's no doubt about this. If you follow those artists, like you've seen this guy dance. But even aside from that, he makes a lot of like pieces for like workshops, for videos, and I mean his stuff, if you like find him on YouTube, is absolutely incredible. Like he is the definition of like the athleticism that dancing needs. Like he has infinity endurance, he's super quick, he's very sharp, very controlled, and then delivers like mad performance to you. So he can give you all kinds of face and attitude and style. And he's got like a lot of foundational dance under his belt too. So you'll see him do things like in the house or like b-boy kind of circuit. He can like hit hard, There's a lot of like non-choreography elements the way he dances as well. So he's just a sick, nasty individual. And I think by far, like he's like my biggest idol as a dancer.
That's cool. That's saying a lot. I'm gonna definitely ask you for his stuff following up.
No doubt, you gotta check it out. Yeah.
But speaking a little bit from the choreographer side, because you're saying you started out dancing, just kind of taking your natural skills into the more organized context. But like, I've seen you can choreograph for men and women. Yeah. And that's not an easy thing, especially if you are a guy. So, I mean, how do you start to get a sense of how to move your hips and where to do your hand placements for the girls, but then maybe accentuate on shoulders for guys? Or what are the things you need to look out for when you're choreographing for different genders?
Right, and I mean that's definitely something that I guess as a choreographer you have to like push yourself outside of your comfort zone to be able not to only like enjoy watching it, but then to try and understand it from the perspective of the women who dance like that, or like other choreographers, even if they're male dancers or choreographers who dance like that too. Try and understand it, and then trying to find the real appreciation for it, whereas you can now start to create it within yourself, and you're not like kind of just creating like what you see or just like clearly like imitating, but also you can like kind of like make real genuine dance that like women or other like people who like to dance those styles feel very comfortable doing and feel like very authentic doing as well. So for me, like in fact one of the people who got me into dancing like with crews and whatnot was a dancer of that style. This guy named Adlai Grayson. Like his style is like very like effeminate and like it's really cool. He's actually the director of one of the groups that'll be at Function. He directs Project Nails. He's also in Static Noise Dance Company. But he's like one of my best friends. He's got me into dancing back at MIT together, and that's how he danced. So like even from like an early like time in my dance career, like I've been doing stuff like that, you know. And after seeing lots of it, and in the dance community, like things like sexual orientation and gender, like none of those are taboos. Like it's mad open. There's love for everybody. So like when like gay men or women, when they dance like that, like it's really cool. And I've come to really appreciate that. And I don't want to like just limit like what my dancers do to like just my best or my most natural style. You know, sometimes in my performances with my crew, I want my girls to be able to show off something more. And not just dance like guys. It's a funny story actually. Project Nails being an all girls crew, you've seen them before. I actually started that group with Adlai. And it was a group that was just all girls with 2 guys as choreographers. And I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, I made all the snap, like hips, fear stuff. No. That was mostly ad live for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, with putting that group together, I definitely, you know, again, like grew that appreciation for the way girls might move differently from guys. I've definitely like looked at other choreographers who are like, you know, more famous, you know, doing the whole YouTube thing, or just like really big names of the world, and come to appreciate a lot of what they do too. Look up to artists like Beyonce, and like Sierra, and like all kinds of artists that like, you know, do that feminine kind of dancing like so well. And so I appreciate it. I grab onto it, and you know, I try and like also teach like, you know, the girls and guys, whether they be gay, straight, it doesn't even matter. But I think, and I've heard this from like many good dancers as well, like there's no reason why guys should not dance effeminate. You know, and you know, to a lot of dudes that, you know, who dance, it's like to impress the girls. Like, look how, you know, manly I look when I'm dancing, right? But like actually like a lot of girls do like when a guy has like, you know, that sensitive side, you know, and can understand and can relate. And then it's just like, you know, it's just cool to round out your skills and your talents, and to be able to say I can move like that too. And I can like put that style, that texture into anything I do. If I freestyle, I can throw it in there and you know, come at you something you didn't expect. You know, so it's just like a good skill to have. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy choreographing it in addition to like all the guy stuff that I do as well. You know, and I think it's beneficial for any dancer who wants to round themselves out like that.
That makes a lot of sense. I think in anything that you do, it's important to be very versatile. And even when you start to look at twerking or the nay and things like that, where even you got some guys doing the, you know, the look back at it type of thing. It's very much, I think it envelops all kinds of surroundings, all kinds of backgrounds, and people can get into it no matter where they're from.
Definitely.
And talking a little bit about that, you see how much hip hop in general, and it seems like every other month a new dance, whether it is the ones that I mentioned or the shmoney dance, that's what's popping out there right now, it really grips people. So can you talk a little bit about hip hop and what it's meant to you, particularly as a dancer? Is this I mean, you're going to be performing hip hop. Do you do any other styles of dance? But how have you seen it affect not just the world of dance, but just culture in general?
Hip hop music has been huge. I mean, hip hop dancing, like it started like back in the 80s with like when pretty much hip hop music started. And hip hop dancing, like to its truest definition, is really just like social dances, you know, that were done to that music, and they were mostly like freestyle in nature, you know, they weren't really choreographed at all. So like what kind of, I guess, came as the music started to become more mainstream and people start demanding like performances that go along with these songs. You start getting people like choreographing from the, you know, original foundation of hip hop, of like the different, you know, culture and the collection of like movements and such, like social dances. And I guess, you know, I kind of fall into like that new school like choreography generation where like I might not be the kind of like freestyle dancer who like just does like hip hop like foundational movements, but I take hip hop music. And what I do is I make up pieces to it, like just from my own creativity. I just put together movements that feel like right to me. And of course, you know, I definitely do put in things that are like are just, you know, down there in the streets and whatnot, like the nay, you know, the Dougie, jerkin, all those things. There's tons of new dances even now, which haven't even blown up yet. But like, trust me, they're on the way. I try to keep privy to those things.
But I was gonna say, like, when you A, do dances ever get old for you? And B, are you kind of looking out on YouTube for the new ones that are going to be next to pop and then just kind of slipping them into your routines? Or how do you discover dances and how they last for you?
I mean, so dances definitely do get old. Like, just, you know, things fall out of style. For me, things definitely get old when like everyone's doing it. Like, so by the time everybody's doing it, and then you got all the people who don't know how to do it, who are trying to do it, and then I'm kind of like, all right, y'all have fun with this, moving on. But you know, if something's like on the rise, and if I'm feeling that like movement, like right now, like there are two things. There's one called the yeet. There's one called the whipping or whipping or something like that. So like they're newer than the shmoney dance. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, that's like what's really big. You see mad vines and
the vine is a spot.
But the yeet and whip are like two things like from the South right now, which kind of have like a very similar feel in NA, like kind of like that bounce kind of feel. But you know, they're new things, and occasionally I'll take something like that and I'll put it in before like other people start doing it. You know
Wait, can you? I think I know. Is the yeet or not the yeet? No, I think the yeet's the one where it has like the vine with the kid that's doing like the little gun thing. How can you do a little bit of the yeet?
So the yeet would be like you can like do like whatever you want, like, and it's like there's a yeet on every like fourth count or like fifth count. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, whatever you want, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, you kind of do whatever you want on the in between. Yeah. It's kind of like the name. Like name, you have it like 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you know, so like it's funny. Apparently, yeet means all sorts of things. Like, if a girl tries to come to you and you're not like rocking with her, you're like yeet. But, you know, it's like it's whatever, man. But as far as like, you know, what hip hop means to me, like I love hip hop music. Yeah, I love dancing to it, and I'm just trying to like take what keeps coming out, what's fresh. I try to be very original, unique. I like never tell anybody about my song collection. Like, whenever someone has a song I have, I'm like, oh. Okay, you're sharp, like you're like me, but
you gotta keep it very, very, imagine tight, because you don't want. Definitely. It's like anything else that's creative. You want everyone to kind of find their own voice, and you don't want people necessarily to rip off you, but you don't necessarily want to be like a great wall around you.
No doubt, no doubt. I like to share, but as far as like when I want to be original, you know, I try to not be influenced too much by other people. So if like everyone's doing like a certain song, everyone keeps choreographing it, and pieces keep coming out, I'm not gonna feel like doing that song, no matter how much I might like that song, you know. And you know, no shade to anyone who does, you know. Like if people want to like make a dance, they should make a dance, no doubt about that. But I like to, you know, just keep things very original, like find select songs underground and whatnot. And I mean, like I was showing you No Flex Zone, like it's obviously a very popular song. But you know, like every now and then, you know, I'll throw in a popular one, but most times I keep it like real, unique, and like original and new, really fresh. That when I come out to the people are like, yo, that's nice, and not comparing me to other dancers and whatnot.
That makes sense. That's smart. So one last couple of questions before I take up too much of your time. So what, for me, because dancing is essentially your side hustle. I know you do like basically a research type of job. I mean, you're using your MIT brain and putting it to use. But for people who want, for instance, to be full-time dancers, I imagine like any other kind of artist, it's tough. Like what have been some of the approaches you've seen in the past that have worked, that have maybe not worked so well, and what can maybe someone expect? I mean, and I think YouTube is kind of opening up a whole new kind of portal for people who want to be big-time dancers, but maybe don't necessarily want to tour with artists. So what's it like for someone who wants to be a professional, let's say hip-hop dancer?
You know, there are multiple avenues, like different like paths, like a hip hop dancer can take if they want to make dancing their, you know, career. There's different ways to go about it. So, you know, one is like you're saying, like touring with the artists, which would require them to, you know, go to auditions for these, you know, artists, for music videos, for tours or whatever. And in order to go to these auditions, oftentimes they need to be signed. So, like, you know, they have the talent agencies for dancers as well. In order to get recognized by them, you got to go to their auditions. So it's like a lot of like almost like, you know, a string of like consecutive auditions to make it in that way. And, you know, those dancers who get noticed by the talent agencies, they have to be very, very good. Like they train a whole lot. They have to network a lot too, because there's a lot of good dancers who are already in the industry who can help them, you know. So if you get on their good side, you know, they can help you by recommending you to the agencies, you know, by seeing the audition, being like, we need to take him or her, you know, and then like you get your foot in the door that way as well. And it's a lot of like collaborating, working together can like be very, you know, helpful to one's dance career. So that's one way of going about it. Another way is by being like a professional dance teacher. So like, for example, in Boston, pretty much in every like big city, but there are a number of studios, you know, and you can make your career to teach dance classes to like at one studio, at multiple studios, and essentially you would like line your free time and schedule with teaching dance classes. And they can be, you know, a range of ages and purposes. It could be like kids, adults, it can be for recitals, or just open like one class at a time. You can like travel around and do workshops and stuff. You can travel around and like offer pieces to groups, you know, in return for like payment and whatnot. So that's a professional career a lot of dancers do as well. And then a lot of dancers kind of combine elements from like both, you know. So like they'll go around instructing and making money that way. A lot of times, like when they're off from that stuff, or when they really want to like perform, they'll go out and look for auditions or start making calls and contacting people who like, you know, are already with the artists and whatnot, and trying to book things. So there's different ways one can go about it. You know, you have professional dancers here in Boston who are doing the teaching and touring kind of thing, you know, doing more local performances. And you have people out there like in LA right now, some in New York, who like just go to auditions for like the actual performances themselves that you either see on TV or you go to see at concerts and whatnot. That's
cool. So, I mean, I imagine you seem to have a great insight into how this kind of stuff works, and it's certainly beyond me in many ways. But it's good to know that it's possible, and if you want to follow this interest and this passion, that there's some pretty well thought out ways that you can do it.
Definitely, and it just takes a lot of patience and humility. You know, people have to not walk in there thinking like I'm the ish. Like no matter what, I'm getting signed or I'm getting this audition or whatever. A lot of some of the best dancers, they'll get rejected. At auditions, and it's not even all the time about the dancing. And oftentimes you have so many good dancers that it's just about what you look like. If you fit a certain role that marketers want to portray. Sometimes not the best dancers get picked in auditions, stuff like that.
That's gotta rub you. That's gotta irk you a little bit. You're like, man, that guy should not be in that Chris Brown video or whatever.
But it goes way deeper than just the dancing. It's it's the entertainment industry. So there's a lot of stuff in the entertainment industry that dictates who may get more shine than other people as a professional dancer. So it's tough, but if people want to do it, they just got to work really hard, be patient, and just learn from all their experiences.
That's cool, man. Yeah. All right, we'll take it from you. All right, so before we let you go, tell us one more time, what are the crews to be looking out for outside of yourself? We know we're going to be looking out for you at Function 6 on Friday, but who else should we be looking out for?
I'm hoping I don't forget nobody. I get people real mad at me if I forget somebody. But definitely look out for my crew Concept Artists. We're going to be debuting our first set of the fall season. Cool. So we haven't had a performance since the spring, so it'll be new and fresh. Static Noise Dance Company. I know already what they're going to come through with, kind of. I've heard the grapevine. I'm in there like that, but I'm not going to, spill the beans. They always come through with a really cool theme, and they have really unique dancing, and they're a big group. They keep it really clean as well. So look out for them. Project Nail's another one. That's the all-girl crew. I mean, they're really looked up to when it comes to really empowering hardcore female dancing. So they'll be really good as well. Funk Phenomenon is coming through as well. I mean, they're like the OG hip hop dance crew of Boston. So they're gonna come through and deliver something strong. I'm very sure. It's gonna be some collegiate crews as well. I'm not sure exactly which ones are performing at Function, but definitely Northeastern is the host, their kinematics group. So I believe they usually perform 2 pieces of this show. And I mean, it being their show, they're going to show up. They were a really good crew last season. Last fall, there's some collegiate only competitions that they just pretty much cleaned up. So I'm sure they're going to deliver something really nasty, really badass. BU Fusion is another group that I think will be there. I'm big fans of that group. A lot of respect for them. Back when I was in college, my crews, I was really good friends with their crew. So mad love for them. Got to shout out the MIT crews as well. I believe Redonkulous will be there. I'm thinking Mocha Moves. Don't get mad at me. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen a schedule like that, but I got love for both those crews there. That's my home. And yeah, I mean there are probably other crews and ones I'm not remembering at the moment, but they're all gonna be dope. And what would be really special is if you see a crew that you haven't seen before or you haven't heard of before, that just blows you away. I'm sure there'll be crews like that as well. So
perfect. All right. Well, thanks so much, Tarikh. Tell the audience where they can find you on social media, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah,
you can look me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm just Tarikh.Campbell. On YouTube, look up my crew, the Concept Artists. Otherwise, I was Con Art Crew. And I'm also on Twitter as well. So just look me up, follow me, follow my group, and just support, show love for Boston dance community.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Tarikh. Appreciate it. Boston hip hop, Boston dance. We'll see you guys on Friday, November 7th at Function in Northeastern. Thanks again, Tarikh. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Hell yeah, man.